everyone. I'm Seth,
And I'm Jodi.
and today we're going to be eating traditional Korean foods, but not just Korean. We're going to eat traditional Jeju foods. And
Right.
what do we have today?
Today we have three dishes. We have Pingdo, Mongok, and Shindari. All items that are unique to Jeju Island.
I've never heard or tried any of these.
Yeah,
How
me-
about you?
Yeah, me neither. I'm excited. They smell really good.
I'm excited too. Sorry, let's dig in.
Let's do it.
What's first?
First we have Pingdo. Alright, so this is Pingdo. It looks like a pancake or a burrito. How do you make it?
So we have some buckwheat powder, some radish, spring onions, some salt, some oil, some sesame salt, and some sesame oil.
Okay, a lot of things, but it looks pretty simple as well.
Yeah, it seems pretty simple. Should we take a look inside?
Sure. Let me hold it down for you.
Thank you, sir. Let's cut that up. And inside. Okay. You see it's just some, I guess that's radish.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, and we see some thin spring onion there maybe?
This is some sesame seeds.
Okay.
Okay. Like we said before, it's very simple. There's not a lot to it, and yeah, this is a nice, refreshing appetizer, I think. What do you think?
Let me jump into this. Okay. Yeah. So, it's a simple flavor. It I think it's mostly like kind of a bread flavor. Not exactly bread, buckwheat, but it's similar to bread, right? Not a lot of extra special flavors. I almost think like dipping this in something, like a little bit of soy sauce, maybe. You just dip that in.
Honestly,
That's not the Jeju way, I'm sure, but
that would definitely be a bastardization of this dish, but that would be an interesting thing to see how a different version would look.
yeah, it could work. Overall, I like this.
Pretty good.
This is a good start.
Simple, refreshing.
All right, so next up we have Mongok. And can you tell us what's in this one?
So in here we have a bit of pork. It's actually they stew the pork bones. There's some seaweed, and interestingly there is actually bracken leaves, a kind of very common fern, which is, if you pick it too late, is actually poisonous and a carcinogen. But luckily the restaurant that we got this from are well known for this dish. So we are not in any risk of being poisoned.
Now you're telling me about the poison.
I know, right?
All right, at least we haven't eaten yet.
Yeah.
All right, and actually there's some tradition behind this too. So in Jeju, usually weddings last for a few days, actually 3 days. And for a wedding, you would get a whole pig and you cut up the pig and eat that on the first 2 days, all the good parts. And then the leftover is usually the bones, and there's still a little meat on the bones. So on the third day, we make a soup or a stew out of the bones, and then we share that with the whole village or neighborhood.
Yeah. So I think, as far as I remember it, they actually start the stew just after they've cut out the pig, so it stews for multiple days, which is unusual for Korean broths.
Yeah, that would soften up the pork a little.
Yeah, to get that deep flavor. All right, ready to dig in?
Shall we?
Let's do it.
I'll go first this time?
Sure.
All right, let's see what this is. Let's try to get a little bit of everything here. See if I can get the seaweed on. Okay, that's good. So I feel some kind of salt at the beginning, kind of a good salty flavor, and then as I swallow, there's almost like a pepper. I don't want to say hot, but like almost like a pepper taste, like table pepper.
Okay, like black pepper.
Yeah, like black pepper.
Okay.
That was good. I like this.
Let's see.
Good try.
Yeah. I will likewise try to not mess everywhere. Mostly succeed. I do see what you mean. Wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's much thicker than other like gooks or tangs that I've had.
Yeah.
That's probably because it's been boiled for so long. So a lot of the liquid has gone into the soup, and I also, now I feel that pepper a little bit right at the back.
Yeah, there's a really nice aftertaste. The first taste is definitely salt and maybe a little bit of the pork. And then you get that pepper aftertaste just for a second that kind of flares up. That is really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely finishing all of this.
The pork is very good.
Lovely. I can see why this is a well-regarded Jeju food. Okay, that's last. We've had our appetizer, we've had our main. Now it's time for our dessert.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, we have Shindari. This looks like an interesting drink. What's in here?
Okay, so we have barley and some sugar and some nuruk, which is like a fermenting agent. And actually, this one in particular has some pumpkin in it as well, but that's not the traditional way.
Right, because from what I've heard, every family or community that makes this has their own way of doing it, which is actually why it was hard to get this, because it's not often sold. It's something that people make in their houses for their family to drink. So we're very fortunate that the same family that owns the Mongok restaurant was kind enough to give it to us. We're happy to enjoy it now.
And we'll put their name at the end of the video
There'll be a link.
because
Yeah.
they were so kind.
Yeah.
to
And we
give us
don't
this.
want to mispronounce their name.
Yes, which we will.
All right.
All right, shall we try?
Tom?
Same time?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
I'm not sure what I was expecting. It's quite similar to coming from South Africa. There are traditional ways of making alcohol that have a similar like mouthfeel to this. So there's like a slight tinge of fermentation that in other drinks is much stronger, and this is more alcoholic, but this is actually quite nice. It adds a unique feel to it.
I've had 4 drinks and I'm not sure how to describe this. It almost tastes like a fruit. Like, I want to say that it tastes like pineapple, but not as sweet or sour. Like a weaker version of pineapple. But you do have that fermentation taste, like if you're making dough, or sometimes like at the very end of a beer, you might have a little bit of that fermentation taste. And I taste that in here too.
It's quite good. It's very refreshing. I really like it.
And we should note as well that this is frozen because usually a family will make a lot and then just put it in the freezer and then take it out as they need it. And that's how we got it today. So we have lots of ice in here too, which is kind of a nice texture.
On this hot summer's day.
Like a smoothie, kind of.
So thank you for joining us on our Jeju Traditional Food journey today. We've had 3 wonderful dishes, and hopefully you'll come to the island and try them at some point too.
Did you have a favorite, Jodi?
Oh, that's tough. I think both the Mongok and the Shindari were delicious. I will definitely be seeking those out in the future. How about you?
I think the Mongok was much better than I expected. I actually thought that would be the lowest, but it was the best, in my opinion.
It's the one that sort of sounds, this doesn't sound like it would be good,
Yeah,
but it was delicious.
it was really good. And a special shout out to Yongchane Gukpop, which we're getting laughed at for.
Oh, we're definitely.
They were the ones who provided the Mongok and also the Shindari for us. So we're very thankful to them for giving us the chance to try that.
And if you're ever looking for a Mongok restaurant, that's the place to go.
It is, yeah.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you in our next video.
Thank you.
Cheers.